How's it, everyone? Today's food for thought topic is around the Munchausen Syndrome in business. So those who are familiar with police comedy shows or otherwise medical series will realize the Munchausen Syndrome is all about how an individual wants or seeks attention in a deliberate way. And from an entrepreneurial perspective, many may ask, okay, so what does that have to do with business or how I run my business itself? Um, Keeping the Munchausen syndrome in mind, especially for an early stage startup CEO who has a team of individuals, is very important when we are diagnosing efficiencies and effectiveness in how our individuals or how our team works. Especially when we're always in crisis mode and reactive towards things. And in the startup stage, when one goes through growth and scalability, it's something that every startup CEO will often experience, moving from things being smooth and effective to all of a sudden being in a crisis mode and reactive mode. And that's the nature of how one often goes through scalability and growth. So, for any startup CEO, diagnosing the Munchausen syndrome within their team, especially in determining the fluidity of your teamwork and the root causes behind crisis management itself, is critical. And what are the things that one would want to keep in mind? There's namely four things I would say. Understanding that the crisis mode is only a mode itself, and how we deal with it is actually fundamentally important, and identifying the root causes behind it is what is critical to understand. So if a crisis was created by someone, but then that person also was the hero in saving it, we already have Munchausen syndrome. Why? Because that person knew that they did wrong, but then they went and got it fixed up. And so that's where we find the Munchausen syndrome falling in place in terms of the individual saving the day, but he was also the initial cause of it in that regard there. So crisis management means doing nothing until the problem puts a project, a deal, or the business at significant risk. So in that regard there, we're moving into a reactive state of being. And what one needs to often diagnose is what are the root causes for these things, and how do we move from reactive to being proactive. And this is fundamentally often caused by having an unequal workplace culture in the business, and so people take advantage of our well-being in that aspect there. So to all startup CEOs out there, the secret of crisis management is not good versus bad, it's preventing the bad from getting worse. And so remember that when you're growing and scaling and building a team for effectiveness and efficiencies in your business. Wishing you all a great day. I'll chat to you guys soon. Cheers.